The views and opinions expressed on this program do not reflect the company, owners, management, staff, clients, or partners.
Welcome to Bermuda's Daily Talk Show. It's the Daily Hour.
ChatGPT did become the world's most downloaded non-gaming app.
Literally the job of everyone in government to address the media and the public.
What are your thoughts, audience? What are your thoughts on Zandy Silva as the deputy PLP leader?
A community that can't feed itself is a community that do.
What you may not know, though, is that Bermuda, we have a connection with Epstein, too.
Things that people are doing right, the youth are doing right, that is not being advertised enough.
When you see your access to U.S. dollars disappear, that's when you have a problem.
If you've got a town in the UK with a similar sized population, this place absolutely outshines it.
Oh, I'm sorry you all couldn't hear me. My apologies. Well, it's Monday, the 24th day of August, 2026. Welcome to Bermuda's Daily Talk Show. This is the Daily Hour brought to you by the BAC Group of Companies, HSBC Bermuda, Medical House Lenders, People's Pharmacy, and big love to Hot 1075 for ensuring that we can pump through the radio airwaves with these most important community conversations. I'm Jamel Hartman. How's everyone feeling today? How was your weekend? I asked because, I don't know why I do it to myself. I said, it's a new football season starting. Let me try to rekindle what I once had with Manchester United. And it lasted not even 45 minutes. Folks, I don't know if I could put my heart for this. I don't know if I can do it. I don't know if I'm made for supporting sports teams anymore. They just let you down. They just let you down. So that's how my weekend was. No, I did do some fun stuff. I went to a vendor market. Yeah, I went to a vendor market, and that was pretty cool. I love seeing small businesses and people, hustlers with their tables set up. It's just like Bermuda. But it was, near Punch City Market in Atlanta. So it was really cool. But anyway, enough about my weekend. Let's hear about yours. James Burgess says, good morning to the Daily Hour team show. He says he's good. We've got Suzanne Ingham says, good morning. Oh, it's an awesome day to conquer your Monday, one moment at a time. I'm excited to be in the TDH house. Yep. We've got, I don't know what Larry Marshall Jr. is laughing at, because his AC Milan team won. Yeah, it's early. They have Manchester United's former manager, so we'll see. 9/11 Island Girl says, don't feel bad, Jamel. My Philadelphia Eagles lost both preseason games, but I remain hopeful. Don't give up. That's preseason. You'll be all right. You'll be all right. Manchester United lost their final preseason game. I was like, they'll be okay. Oh my goodness. Suzanne Ingham just cussed us out. She says, it's just a game, Jamel. It's just a game. Don't take it too hard. It's just a game. You know what? I'm going to take her advice. It's just a game. And these are just strangers playing something for money. And what do I have to lose? All right. Thank you for that, Suzanne. I'm going to look at it like that. Well, folks, here's your question of the morning. What are your thoughts on government-supported grocery stores? What are your thoughts on government-supported grocery stores? Now, for years, Bermudians have complained about the high cost of groceries, right? Government has responded with committees, legislation, and various initiatives aimed at bringing prices down, but groceries remain one of the biggest concerns when we talk about Bermuda's cost of living. Now, thanks to conversations with people like Zach Manas from Lindo's, I think more people are beginning to understand that high grocery prices aren't simply about stores trying to take advantage of consumers. They're businesses. They have staff to pay, goods to import, electricity, rent, shipping, and other costs while still needing to make a profit. And it's not just a Bermuda problem. Grocery prices have become a political issue around the world. In New York City, the mayor, Zohran Mamdani, campaigned on creating government-owned grocery stores, and that plan seems to be now moving forward. New York plans to establish 5 municipal grocery stores in each of the boroughs. So the boroughs are Manhattan, Staten Island, Queens, Brooklyn, and the Bronx, right? With the city covering costs such as property and construction, while private operators actually run the stores. Now, a core basket of groceries is expected to be priced about 30% below typical retail prices. Now, here's the thing that gets me. Whenever government gets involved in business, there are going to be questions, and rightfully so. Interestingly, this isn't necessarily some completely new experiment, though. Now, Food and Wine, and if you go on our website and read this, you'll see that you can click the link for yourself and read it. But Food and Wine points to military commissaries and public-private models, including one in Atlanta, where I'm based, which Charles H. Jefferson II brought to my attention recently, where government support reduces overhead so essential products can be sold closer to cost. Now, I can understand why that sounds attractive for Bermuda. Imagine having somewhere people could purchase milk and breads, eggs, meats, vegetables, and other essentials closer to cost. But I also wonder how sustainable that would actually be in Bermuda. See, we've had a co-op before. And years later, people still ask what happened and why it didn't work. People, Bermuda also doesn't have like New York's population or purchasing power. We still have to import most of what we consume, and government involvement doesn't magically eliminate shipping, labor, electricity, or the other costs associated with getting food onto our shelves. There's another side to this as well. What happens to existing grocery stores that have to compete against a store whose rent, construction, or other expenses are being subsidized by you, the taxpayers? If government-supported stores can sell goods cheaper because taxpayers are covering some of their expenses, is that actually lowering cost of groceries or simply shifting some of the costs somewhere else? Think about it. It could be that there's something between doing nothing and government opening its own grocery store. Now, in fairness to government, they did partner with existing grocery stores for the affordable basket. But should we revisit the co-op model and understand what went wrong? Could government use its purchasing power to help reduce cost? Maybe there are ideas being tried elsewhere that Bermuda can adapt rather than simply copy. The objective shouldn't be government versus grocery stores. The objectives should be figuring out how Bermudians can afford to feed themselves without putting businesses out of business or taxpayers funding something that isn't sustainable. This is an interesting convo, but I'm interested to hear your responses. Again, question of the morning: what are your thoughts on government-supported grocery stores? Think about it. I'll come back, we'll get to you all, and we'll give you the poll after this short break. Stick with us.
People's ACW, located at King Edward VII Memorial Hospital, carries over-the-counter medicines, toys, cards, and even toiletries. Our knowledgeable staff are there whether you're at emergency, visiting family, or a member of BHB staff, to show you our best even when you're feeling your worst. People's ACW, we're here for you.
Now, greetings, everyone. I'm not sure if I said all this already, but thanks for making us part of your daily routine. Training our community to protect children. We've got Debi Ray-Rivers from SCARS stopping in later to discuss the importance of training and certification for the community from SCARS. The Daily Play is going to be Bermuda Trivia today. And don't forget to subscribe on our website. Follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community. All right. Your daily discussion brought to you by Titan Express and Secure. You see the question, what are your thoughts on government-supported grocery stores? And here's the poll question for the day. The poll question is, would you support a government-supported grocery store in Bermuda? 1 for yes, 2 for no. Would you support it? Would you support a government? I've used the word supported, but it's really government funded, right? It's funded. Would you support it? Let us know your thoughts on that. Now, here's some key things that we need to remember, right? This is a hard pill to swallow. Groceries aren't just a problem for Bermuda. Food affordability has become a major political issue internationally. Remember, leading up to the 2024 presidential election, many said they were voting for President Trump because of the price of eggs. Remember all of that? Well, almost 2 years later, prices are continuing to rise based on my understanding. There's some other important things. Retailers have cost. You know, Zach came on this show numerous times earlier this month reminding us. Shipping, wages, electricity, rent, importing most of their goods. It all contributes to what consumers ultimately pay. Now, what New York is actually proposing, government owns / supports the infrastructure, but experienced private grocers operate the stores. The idea is that removing or subsidizing overhead could allow essential groceries to be sold significantly cheaper. Now, the issue I feel like we have for Bermuda is, would our small population with limited purchasing power make the model harder to sustain? I mentioned co-op earlier. Should we examine why co-op didn't last first? Is it fair? Let's talk about the fairness. Is it fair for privately owned grocery stores to compete with a business whose major expenses are being covered by the taxpayers? And who ultimately pays? Government supported doesn't mean free. Taxpayers are funding the subsidy somewhere. Maybe instead of opening a government store, government can work with existing retailers like, Lindo's to continue things like the affordable basket that they did. We also need to measure things, right? Instead of just saying we're going to do stuff, measure it. What was the impact of the affordable basket, for instance? Have we done a survey to ask people who benefited from it? Let us know. What are your thoughts, folks? Again, what are your thoughts on government-supported grocery stores? That's the discussion this morning. Charles H. Jeffs II says, as you said, Bermuda doesn't have the scale for a government-supported grocery store. However, I'm not convinced that the government has exhausted all options to reduce import costs. This issue isn't going away. Charles, that's unfortunate. It's not going away. It's not going away. And I just don't like the idea of the finger pointing. I think what we need to do is what you're suggesting without saying it is, exhaust all options. Like keep digging, try to find a way. This is a serious issue, man. At the end, you know what I liken it to? This may be a horrible analogy, but it's like the public schools and private schools, right? You have public schools, but more people are choosing to send their children to private schools, right? And you ask yourself, but we have public schools. So even if we had these publicly supported grocery stores, are people going to support them over going to their stores of choice? We've heard people give suggestions that, the government should purchase its own cruise ship, or the government should own a hotel. And then you have the others who say, no, government needs to stay out of the way from private businesses. I get it. I don't know if a government-supported grocery store is the answer. I don't know. What I do know is that right now, what we're doing is not sustainable for the average Bermudian. And instead of the government trying to enter the grocery business, maybe they need to focus on legislation and policies, which they're likely doing, to focus on helping Bermudians to feed themselves. Folks, this is your daily discussion brought to you by Titan Express and Secure. We've got WKD Lama says government needs to lower costs to import food, not in favor of a bigger government. Yeah. I guess my question is, if they lower the cost to import food, where do they take that money from? Where do they make it up to, right? Because the government's like a casino, right? The house always wins. They're now going to take a cut. So where do they get that from? What they lose by reducing that? That's my only concern. Where do they make that up? Where do they make it up? There's a lot of things in this that I think we can all take from. I think we need to have honest conversations. I'm not sure if there have been real surveys by government done on this. But when I say we need to have real conversations about this issue, where do people shop? What are things you are considering essential goods? How much waste do you have when you shop? For instance, David Chapman had wrote a book. Dr. David Chapman had wrote a book some years ago. And it was helpful for me. He was explaining, like, okay, if you live alone, why do you need a bulk shop? You don't need a shop for the month necessarily. you probably need to shop weekly or bi-weekly, right? Because especially with produce, just you know you're not going to eat 5 different types of salad and finish them all in 1 week. You know you're not going to eat all those fruits in 1 week. So, for instance, I probably get 2 apples now and a bag of tangerines. 4 bananas versus 6. You might be saying, there's only 2 extra bananas. I don't make banana bread. Those are things that we can do to help ourselves, right? I believe there's a lot government can do. I really believe that. I believe that grocery stores do play a role. But I also believe there's so much we can do to help ourselves. There's a lot we can do to help ourselves. Let's use gas prices, for instance. I buy gas 10 times a year, right? The last time I purchased gas, I think, was the end of July. I don't drive a lot. But when I do drive, I go pretty far. I'm usually 15 plus miles, the distance of Bermuda, wherever I'm going, a lot of times when I'm visiting people. But everything else that I have to do is in and around me, right? In saying that, I budget like $600 to $800 a year. You all must be like, how's this guy doing that, right? I think there are things that we can do. You know, I remember Teo, and I've shared this on this show. Teo got in a disagreement some years ago on the radio. Speaking with her, she was a single mom, had 3 young children. And we're talking 2008, 2009. People were complaining about the cost of living at that time. Now, yeah, we're talking 17 years ago. And Teo was like, well, the truth is Bermudians don't need cars. But yet, well, this was then. Now we have broken down buses, according to many. But Bermudians don't need cars. I need a car. And he's like, what do you really need a car for? And keep in mind, Teo's mind has changed now since he has children, right? He's like, no, I catch a cab everywhere. Well, I can't afford a cab, and it adds up. And I actually thought about it. I'm like, with my car payment and gas, I actually don't need a car right now. Why? Because the world has changed since then. I probably have more of an argument for not needing a car now. Groceries can get delivered, right? Have laundry at home, so don't need to go to a laundromat. If I need to go somewhere like a doctor's appointment or something, Uber, dentist, Uber, or ride share, because I don't use Uber, I use Lyft. But my point is, we don't think about this stuff because in our minds, we only think about cost when it comes to how much we got to pay. But I truly believe as humans, the first thing we consider is convenience. I really believe we're people who focus on convenience over cost. And that's where our money goes. All right, let's go back to the audience again. Audience, what are your thoughts on government-supported grocery stores? We've got Charles H. Jefferson II. He says, the cost of living in Bermuda is likely the number one reason why people have or are looking to leave Bermuda. Otherwise, it's the haves and have-nots with no middle class. That's not a healthy country, in my opinion. It's interesting you say that, Charles, because I was reading a few articles last night where there were people who had moved to different parts of Asia, Central South America, because the cost of living in the United States, these were American citizens. One was in Dubai, and tax-free salary was $4,100, and monthly expenses was $1,600, right? And people were like, oh, you're only making that little bit of money. But when she shared her expenses, they were like, oh man, my take home is like $7,000 a month, but my expenses are $4,000. Like it was just $5,000. Sorry, and it's no matter where you live, I almost feel like it's not made for locals anymore, right? I don't think that's a Bermuda problem. Dorian says, could government help small family and convenience stores, cost cutters in St. David's, instead of allowing BGA set up a convenience store just across the way and put cost cutters out of business? So they're asking government to get involved in private business to protect. See your point. James Burgess says they've been talking about prices as long as I've been working. Okay. All right, folks, that's your daily discussion brought to you by Titan Express and Secure. Let's show some love to both of them, and then we'll have our Bermuda icon. Then we will do our days of the year. Then we'll take our first break. And don't forget, we've got Debi Ray-Rivers coming up. We're training Bermudians. Before we go show some love, let's read this final comment from Tamara De Silva. Says, there's a vicious cycle. Small population, small orders, expensive shipping per item, expensive food, less purchasing power, difficult for businesses to reduce prices, continued high prices. Tamara, thank you for sharing that, because, I mentioned when Zach was on, I don't think a lot of Bermudians understand volume, right? And what volume means, folks, is what she's saying about small population, small orders. If Walmart and Target can order 1 million, and they only have to pay like 3 cents per item because they're ordering 1 million. Whereas Bermuda, they're likely only ordering 1,000, which means they're paying, instead of 3 cents, $10. That makes sense? So I think people have to understand, and I hate to say this because I don't want to sound like we're better than anyone, but you have to understand the way business works to really understand why the prices are the prices. It's not just because someone wants to take advantage of you. All right, let's show some love to Titan Express and Secure.
The daily discussion is brought to you by Titan Express and Secure. Titan Express delivers safe, professional, and reliable transportation and tours across the island. From island tours to cultural expressions, they set the standard. And Secure is your go-to for property management, waste management, and residential and commercial services. Visit securebda.com. Professional, punctual, and reliable service is their commitment to you.
All right, folks, let's see who we've got in this week's ZipX Bermuda Icon.
Welcome to TDH's Bermudian Icon series, brought to you by the great folks at ZipX. Now, there are people who participate in Bermuda's culture, and then there are folks who make sure that Bermuda actually has a culture to pass down from generation to generation. Ruth Thomas? Yeah, she's firmly in that second group. She helped establish Bermuda's first government preschools before becoming the island's first cultural affairs officers in 1988, leading the newly created Department of Cultural Affairs for more than 20 years. And think about what that means, right? For 2 decades, she helped make sure Bermudian art, music, history, and traditions weren't simply allowed to disappear as Bermuda changed. She also chaired the Bermuda Arts Council for 12 years, helped found the Bermuda National Gallery, and received an MBE in 1994 for her contributions to local education and arts. Her legacy is all around us. We see it, we hear it, we feel it. Ruth Thomas helped make preserving Bermudian culture part of Bermuda's culture. And that's today's Bermudian Icon series, brought to you by the great folks at ZipX. Now back to the show.
Thanks so much for that, Tay. I remember we went to Vermont House, I think it was, with Miss Ruth Thomas when I was in primary school. A legend, a cultural legend indeed. All right, folks, for your days of the year. Today, it is obviously 8/24 is Kobe Bryant Day, legendary basketball player who inspired millions with his fierce dedication, incredible talent. Big up to Kobe and his daughter Gianna. Number 8, number 24. But it is National Waffle Day, folks. Waffle Day. So I got to ask you, are you a waffle or pancake person? Are you a waffle or pancake person? I'm not a breakfast person. But whenever I'm invited to brunch or go to breakfast here in the South, the only thing I eat, chicken and waffles. That's all I eat. So I'm going to have to say, although I eat chicken and waffles, I like pancakes better because they're fluffy. I love the fluffiness of them. Love the fluffiness of them. But what are you? Let us know. Are you a waffle or are you a pancake person? We'll take this quick break. We'll be back in a few. Stick with us.
Guess what? Bermuda's most popular game is back. That's right, Shoe Buy is back in stores. But wait, there's more. The brand new Shoe Buy Summer Edition is here too. Bring the laughs, the vibes, the friendly chaos to your barbecues and summer get-togethers with Bermuda's favorite game. Don't miss your chance to get yours. Visit BermudaTrivia.com and follow Bermuda Trivia on social media to learn more.
One Lucky Bucks in the summer edition has a golden ticket with the chance to win a grand prize courtesy of One Communications.
Hi there, welcome to Medical House. We're located at number 6 Bakery Lane. I can't wait to show you all of the great stuff that we carry. Come on inside, let's see. Long days, long shifts, you no longer have to endure comfortable underwear. Designed by nurses, we now offer premium undergarments by Swoop that are unique, fun, comfortable, and functional. The only underwear you'll ever want to wear. Who says high-quality functional products can't be stylish and comfortable at the same time?
See it all at our new expanded location on Bakery Lane.
Discover Drop It, your go-to grocery delivery. Browse and select from a wide range of groceries, from fresh produce to daily essentials. Our friendly drivers deliver fresh groceries to your door fast, saving you time and hassle. With Drop It, you get fresh groceries delivered fast, so you can focus on what really matters. Drop It, freshness at your doorstep, delivered to your door with Lindo's. Why go anyplace else?
Ace boy, I see you got your U.S. cash. Traveling again? Rich auntie, what's your secret?
Nah, I just using an HSBC Bermuda travel website.
I know about cashback, but it's got a travel website too?
Yeah, and it's lit. Flights, hotels, rentals, book it all in one spot and use your reward points instantly. No blackout dates, no delays. I'm going, bro.
What you mean use your points instantly?
Yeah, bro. Go on this site, see how many points you've got from all that shopping you've been doing. And if you ain't got enough for what you want, just use your HSBC credit card and top it up with some more points.
Okay, spend the points, stack some more. I see, I'm got you now.
I know, right?
Log on to redeem.hsbc.bm. Book your travel deal. Pay with your points. No blackout dates. Easy and hassle-free. Visit redeem.hsbc.bm and get going. HSBC. Opening up a world of opportunity. HSBC is licensed to conduct banking and investment business by the Bermuda Monetary Authority.
Ever taken medication and thought, why is this hitting me so hard? Or why isn't this doing anything at all? Here's something you may not know. Your body processes medication the same way it needs to process food, using enzymes. And these enzymes metabolize medication so it can be converted into its useful form or removed from your body. Pharmacogenetics looks at how your DNA influences the way your body metabolizes or breaks down medications. It helps explain why a drug that works well for one person causes side effects in another and barely works at all for someone else. That means the same pill at the same dose can feel very different from one person to the next. It's not about blame, it's not about doing something wrong, it's simply biology. And once you know what works best for you, medication decisions stop being guesswork and start becoming personalized.
Welcome back to The Big Show. Jamel Hartman here. This is the Daily Hour brought to you by the BAC Group of Companies, HSBC Bermuda, Medical Host Linda's, People's Pharmacy, and big love to Hot 1075 for ensuring that we can pump through the radio airwaves with these most important community conversations. Folks, do not forget to subscribe on our website. Follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community. All right. It's Waffle Day, right? And I asked you all, do you prefer pancakes or waffles? Now, I said all I eat when I go to breakfast or brunch is, waffles and chicken and waffles. But I prefer pancakes because I like the fluffiness of them. Well, 911 Island Girl says pancakes, my late grandma's recipe. Okay. We've got WKD Llama prefers waffles because they can hold syrup. We've got Suzanne Ingham says, doesn't matter. I don't eat them very often. I do prefer homemade pancakes. All right. We've got that. Manny Rankin says, pancakes, no contest. They can be fluffy, but also flatter, like flapjacks, and taste better. And then we've got Manny Rankin says, my dad is known for the famous banana pancakes. Well, I need to taste those banana pancakes. I want to be a fan. All right, folks. Without further ado, very special guest today. We've got our friend from SCARS, one of a very important organization doing very important community work in Bermuda, stopping by. And we got an announcement during this conversation too. So you want to stay tuned for this announcement, right? It's a birthday gift from you all to me. You like the way I said that? But let's give a warm today's welcome to Debi Ray-Rivers, the executive director and founder of SCARS. Oops, not that music. Here we go. Woo. Welcome, Debi. How are you?
Hi, Jamel. Good morning, everyone. I'm good. Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming. Well, first off, I got to ask you, are you a pancake or waffle person?
I had a feeling you were going to ask me that. I'm a yogurt person. I don't do waffles or pancakes. I love my yogurt in the morning.
So Debbie and I are similar. Like I said, I don't really do breakfast. You probably had somebody doing my shake earlier. But when I do go to brunch or whatever, I would have chicken and waffles. But that said, something you said, something that someone told me years ago, I don't know how true this is. They said what us in the United States or the West eat for breakfast, many in Europe consider dessert. Like dinner. I was like, I hadn't thought of it like that. So I'm wondering, would a pancake be considered dessert too with all the whipped cream and the strawberries and stuff, folks? Think about it. Pastry. It's pastry. It's a lot.
It is a lot. It's a lot of sugar.
Absolutely. Absolutely it is. But Debbie, thank you so much. Always a pleasure having you on this show. And audience, if you have any questions or comments, we're going to share something with you later on in this show, but feel free to send through. But for those who maybe they're not familiar with SCARS or what you do and so on, you protect children, right? You educate people on how to protect children. Protecting children is something most people would agree is important as well. But what does that responsibility actually look like for the average adult in our community?
Well, I would say each of us, each adult in our community plays a role in protecting children from sexual harm because, our mission is to reduce the risk of children being sexually molested in our community. And so we all play a role. It does begin at home. SCARS always says that. Prevention begins at home, no doubt. Parents and guardians of children, it's our duty to educate children on, body safety rules. What does consent look like? What does boundaries look like? We, as parents and guardians, we want to help our little ones find their voice, build their self-esteem and their confidence. Many times perpetrators of children will target children that might not tell, the child with the low self-esteem, because perpetrators are going to tell little children what they need to hear. So we want to do that job at home. We want to also model that behavior at home, right? When we're teaching them about consent and boundaries, show them what that looks like. We want parents, their role is to build trust with their children, right? Let them know that nothing's off limits. So parents have a role. Youth serving organizations, Jamel, who open their doors to the precious children of this country, schools and camps and clubs and faith-based centers, they have a role. They have a responsibility, right? we want their staff and the people working with the children to be equipped with prevention tools, because they may recognize a behavior in a child when that child comes to school or to church or to camp or to a sporting or, to in sports. Like, we want the adults working with these children to be equipped to intervene very quickly if they see something. And we also know that predators want to be where there are children. So you want those that are leaders of youth serving organizations, to implement policies that will reduce risk. Family members. I mean, everybody plays a role, right?
I think one of the things that a lot of people appreciate greatly about SCARS is that you place such a significant emphasis on training and certification. It's not just let me go out and put an ad out or like have a conversation publicly, but you want to train people. Why should anyone who works or volunteers with children undergo this training, even if they believe they already understand child protection?
Yeah, well, that's a very valid question. Those that work with children in many of our institutions in Bermuda, and we're one of the few countries that do this, those that work with children have to be retrained every 3 years. So they already know the information. I'm sure they don't feel like sitting through another 3-hour session when they come into our room. We even address that. We understand that. They believe they already understand what child protection looks like. But I always say, even if somebody walks away with one new skill that can possibly save a child from years of trauma, why wouldn't you get this education? Why wouldn't you be retrained? We say it all the time. Firemen and police, they do CPR every 2 years. They already know those skills. Those are life-saving skills, but they still need to be recertified every 2 years. Those that work with children, they spend a lot of time with kids. And we know through research that children may report to a teacher more than any other profession. So that's why we want our teachers to continue to come in our room. And that's why we continue to update our curriculums. Safeguarding practices and procedures, they continue to evolve. We're already working on our next curriculum, which is due to come out in the next few months. So it's not about questioning someone's competence when it comes to learning about protecting children. It's about strengthening it. We don't want them to stop learning.
Yeah, and in saying that, what are some of the key things that those who take the SCAR certification will walk away with?
Well, first of all, they're going to be educated on the facts of sexual abuse. They're going to learn ways that they can minimize risk because sexual abuse is preventable. They're going to learn how to recognize signs. If they're a parent or guardian, they're going to learn how to talk to their kids about body safety. They're going to hear from people with lived experiences on how they were groomed and what they needed to have in order to be protected and supported. They're going to walk away with brochures that empower them with important information. What happens if your child is abused? We have an empowerment guide that will help them know how to help support their kid through that. That is critical when it comes to supporting children. It's not just about the event. It's about supporting them through their little lives. They're going to learn how to support a survivor of childhood sexual abuse. They're going to walk away, with a brochure on that. They're going to walk away with a brochure on how to go through the prosecution process. What are the things to do for you as a parent or guardian? What to do for the child? So they're going to be provided with a resource sheet on who to call if they receive a report. What are the amazing resources in our community that help support you through this? What are the psychological counselors that you can reach out to? So they're going to be provided with quite a bit of information that will help them on this journey of protecting our children of this country.
Indeed. Audience, we'll get to your questions and comments in a few. So if you have any, please send them through. We'll do our best to get through them all. Debbie, beyond recognizing warning signs, what practical steps can organizations, whether schools, churches, sports clubs, camps, youth programs, what can they do to take or create safer environments for children?
Well, first of all, I want to give a shout out to our youth serving organizations. Our youth serving organizations in Bermuda are taking child protection seriously. We see by sometimes 300 in 1 year, 300 different organizations coming into the SCARS room, and sometimes more than just once. And so I want to give a shout out to our youth serving organizations because Bermuda does take child protection seriously. Organizations want to do proper vetting, background checks, right? Google people who, if they're bringing them in from overseas, check the child abuse register from the Department of Child and Family Services. They want to do vetting. They also want to implement safeguarding releases where someone has to let them know if they've ever been connected to the harm of children. We should be asking everybody we hire that question. They should be, looking at a code of conduct and signing that and agreeing to that, of that organization's code of conduct. They should be required to be re-educated in prevention every 3 years. They may, when people walk in a room working for a youth serving organization, they may also have another hat on as a parent or a grandparent, an aunt, uncle, godparent. So this information maybe go beyond them just working for that youth serving organization. We also want to have our youth serving organizations implement policies that reduce risk. Many sex offenders want to be where there are kids. So organizations have to send a clear message, don't come work here. And also, Jamal, it's important that organizations implement behavior policies for children. That's really important, right? Healthy behavior versus unhealthy, inappropriate versus appropriate, bullying policy, and share that policy with the parents of the children. Remind them, let them know this is what we expect when your child comes to work here, because we know that child-on-child abuse is also prevalent. And so, youth serving organizations play a huge role. And we at SCARS are very proud of our youth serving organizations in Bermuda, because think about it. How many countries in the world require the people that work with children to come into a room every 3 years to learn the skills again, to be reminded of the skills? And so we're very proud of our youth serving organizations in Bermuda.
Indeed. Debbie, we've got quite a few questions from the audience. I'm going to go to the audience now. We've got Manny Rankins is asking, is SCARS training and certification transferable to any other countries?
Boy, we would love that. That depends on the other country. The training that we use in Bermuda was developed by an organization here in the United States called Darkness to Light. And so the answer to that would probably be no, that we know of, but we would love anyone to advocate for us on that behalf. Bermuda is the shining example of what taking child protection should look like for every country. Every country should demand and require that those who work with children be educated in prevention. And I know there are organizations in the United States, I think because of lawsuits, organizations do implement policies. They want to make sure that the people who work for them are not going to be harming children. But SCARS believes that this should be done every 3 years as a reminder. And I'll tell you one of the things that helps Bermuda is that SCARS raises money so nobody has to pay. So, for example, our government agencies require SCARS training, but they don't have to worry about that in their budget every 3 years because SCARS raises money from our donors to pay for it. So I think that's a big part of it, is where's the money going to come from? Because SCARS has to pay for everybody who's trained, and we raise money, and our donors in Bermuda believe in what we do, and they pay for that training.
Indeed. Audience, if you have any questions directly about the SCARS training or certification, please send them through. We're not going to take any questions about the survey. You can have that conversation later on. But if you have any questions about today's topic, I would definitely go to the conversation, your question or comment. Charles H. Jefferson II is asking, does SCARS offer a list of organizations that have had one or more people SCARS trained?
Yeah, that's such a good question, Mr. Jeffers. I love your questions. We do not have a list. When we first started, we did like this good housekeeping seal that we would put, give organizations who train their people. But what we discovered was they don't always keep that up. And so if we provide a list of organizations that are trained, it may not be everybody in that organization that's been trained. So we could be sending a false, impression to people that this organization is safe. If somebody wants to know if an organization that they're going to be sending their child to is SCARS certified, what they could do is go on our website and go to our annual reports, because we list in every year in our annual reports those organizations that come into our rooms. And you'll see a pattern year after year, organizations that continue to send their people. But SCARS doesn't police organizations. We just strongly encourage to the leaders of those organizations, mandate that you see a certificate. I can tell you, just this week, we learned that one of our schools in Bermuda, they cannot reapply to work there unless they upload their SCARS certificate. That's a great thing for children. And so that's very important to these organizations, and they have to have an updated certificate every 3 years. Because this stuff is evolving. Now, online sexual exploitation is on the increase. So we're going to be talking a lot in our next curriculum about online sexual exploitation. And so we want organizations to constantly be equipped with prevention skills, because perpetrators haven't gone away, sadly. And we want to make sure that we continue to do everything in our power to protect every child in this country and those that visit youth serving organizations. So thank you for that question, Mr. Jeffers. I hope I answered it.
Indeed. I love that school is making those interested in working there upload their SCAR certification. That's progress right there. And congratulations to your organization and all those involved to be taking that seriously. It's quite a leap. But the Daily Hour is partnering with SCARS for a training session in September. Now, who would you encourage to sign up for this training? What can participants expect to learn? And why should people take advantage of this opportunity between the Daily Hour and SCARS?
So first of all, thank you. Thank you for making this kind of like your birthday present. It is a gift. They're not only giving a gift to you, Jamal, they're giving a gift to children when they come into a SCARS room. I encourage anyone who's never been SCARS certified to please sign up. I would also encourage anyone that was last SCARS certified before January 2024 to sign up, because we recommend every 3 years. We have an updated curriculum that you'll be taking part in. And now we're working on the next one, as I said. You're going to walk away with support brochures. You're going to, people who sign up for a SCARS training, those 3 hours, you could possibly save a child from years of trauma and shame and pain. And so you're going to support a child and their family. If a child's been abused and it's somebody that you know of, you're going to be equipped with how to support them, how to support that family, letting children know that, how to react responsibly. It's critical when it comes to this issue. One can be educated for prevention, but still not react responsibly. So one thing we can never forget, Jamal, is that 90% of those who sexually harm children are known to the victim. And so, we want to make sure our reactions are extremely important. We want to make sure that every child in Bermuda has an opportunity to grow up healthy. And so when they come to a SCARS training, you're going to walk away with so much information, and you'll have it at your fingertips. Even if something happens a year from now, you can go back to those brochures and think about, what did I learn about, how to talk to my child about this, what to say if someone in my family's been abused, how to support them through that. And so, if every adult makes a difference when it comes to protecting children. Children must know that adults in their life will speak up for them. And when they have the courage to disclose that the people in their life will react responsibly, that's very important. But because 90% of people who abuse children are people we know, love, or trust, doing the right thing is not doing the easy thing.
Yeah.
Right? We don't want relationships to come before children. We want to make sure children are safe. And that is our first responsibility, Jamel, is to the child, not to the reputation of the organization, not to the relationship, or making sure another adult is comfortable. It's making sure that child has an opportunity to grow up through their life knowing that what happened to me shouldn't have happened. And the adults in my life responded, appropriately.
Indeed. Folks, it is going to be September 21st, 6 to 9 p.m. It is virtual. If you are interested, send me an email directly, jamel@bermudacommunications.com. But we would love to have as many people as possible. September 21st, just 3 hours of your time, 6 p.m. Bermuda to 9 p.m. Bermuda. So Bermuda time, all Atlantic daylight time, 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. I would love for you, as many people, to attend as possible. Again, I know we all, Some people may not work with children. Some people may not care, feel like they already, as we talked about earlier, I already know better. But trust me, I always look at it like this. How is more information going to hurt? Right? So again, please, if you're interested and you just want to, gather new information to see what you can do to make our community better, just send me an email, jamal@bermudacommunications.com. Monday, September the 21st. That's a Monday, 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. All right, so I want to go back to the audience. We've got Manuela asking, does SCARS monitor homeschools, which is at personal residences?
No, we don't monitor anybody. We advocate for children, but that is a great question. I don't know who is the overarching responsibility of homeschools in Bermuda. That I don't know if there's an overarching agency that does vetting, that requires them to do certain things. I know, for example, the Department of Education, they are the agency for all public schools. The commissioner mandated that anybody working in our public schools must be SCARS certified every 3 years because the Department of Education mandated that. The Department of Health, they're the overarching organization that is in charge of nursery schools, daycare centers, home care providers. They mandate that anybody who works in those entities must be SCARS certified every 3 years. That's one of their requirements. I don't know if someone might be able to tell us this on the show, who is the overarching organization required that oversees homeschools, because we do also believe that homeschools should fall under those. And we have seen a few in our room, but I don't know if it's because they were mandated to come into a SCARS training session or they just, really want to learn what they can do to recognize if a child's being abused that comes to their home, if they're taking care of somebody else other than their own children in that setting. But home care providers, like for nursery schools and daycare centers and nursery schools, they are mandated through the Department of Health. And we're grateful to our government departments who mandate SCARS training.
We've got, I'll go to two more questions from Sherilyn Pringle and then 9/11 Island Girl. Sherilyn Pringle saying, good morning to the H family. Thanks for all your organization continues to do. Has there ever been a campaign to encourage children to tell somebody? Is there a hotline?
Well, the coalition, it's a great question. A big hello to Ms. Pringle and a hug. The Coalition for the Protection of Children have a program in Bermuda, Speak Up, Be Safe. They are the organization that goes out to these institutions to teach children how to speak up. It's not only about sexual abuse, of any harm. Whether the coalition have a hotline, I don't know, but I know that Department of Child and Family Services do have a hotline, and they do have a number, 278-9111. But I think your question is a valid one. It's a great one. SCARS doesn't control that. Our responsibility is to make sure adults are equipped. But I know the coalition, do train children, and they educate kids in schools on how to speak up and be safe for any type of abuse. And I think that would be a great recommendation to Kelly at the coalition, if they can institute a hotline for children to call. But I think your question is very good and needed.
Yeah. Final question from the audience, 9/11 Island Girl saying, what would you like to see done with legislation to tighten up on child protection laws?
Yeah, that's a great question. We at SCARS have been advocating for many years for the most effective treatment at Westgate, because sex offenders who are charged with sexually abusing children and convicted, they are going to get out of prison. And we want to make sure that everything we do around that reduces risk. Sex offenders just don't go to jail and then come out and think differently. They need skills and tools to help with those thoughts. So we would like to see stricter laws around, first of all, having the most effective treatment that is currently being used in the UK. That is the most effective treatment. We did a great show around this. It's episode number 2 on SCARS Survivor Hour TV. It's on our website, and you'll see why that is. We want them to have, license conditions that are very strict. when they get out of prison. That we'd like to see. And we would also like it to be, so that's one area is predators that are those that are convicted of committing a sexual crime against a child. We want to make sure they have the most effective treatment, and they don't get out unless they've passed that test from somebody who's very skilled in understanding the minds of a sex offender. We'd also like to see every entity who opens their doors to children be required to have prevention education, be required to do vetting, be required to have safe policies implemented, no matter what organization that is. Anybody that's going to apply for a license to take care of kids should have to do all of those things. But I will also say that predators do attend trainings, so please know that they do. But we have to always be watching out, looking for behaviors, calling people out, intervening when we see inappropriate behaviors. So in terms of child protection laws, we're never going to be able to do enough, but that's one area or two areas that we'd like to see that I can think, and also impose some some stronger sentences that will send a message that this is not okay when it comes to the precious children of any country, to sexually harm them.
Indeed. We've got Suzanne Ingham says, I must call you, Debbie, for renewal. No, I don't work with kids, only my grands, but I want a renewal refresher for myself. Well, we've got to have you, join September 21st, 6 p.m. to 10 p.m., 9 p.m. We've got 9/11 Island Girl says, I used to be a facilitator for SCARS and will definitely sign up to become recertified. Debbie, just remind people your website, how they can get in touch if they want to connect with you or your team.
Yeah. So our website is scarsbermuda.com. That's the website, Scars Bermuda, Bermuda spelt out. And the email to reach out to me or our team is info@scars.bm. So it's scarsbermuda.com for the website, .bm for email, info@scars.bm. And any one of our amazing team members, Helen or Brenda Lee, or myself, will respond from that email.
Indeed. Thank you so much, Debbie. Always a pleasure. Thank you for the work that your team's doing. And again, audience, they'll be back to discuss the results of the survey on the next conversation. If you haven't, you can go check it out. Let them know where they can find the survey if they haven't seen it already.
Yeah, we are about to put that on our website. It's not on there yet, but we are going to put it on the website. And we will make sure that on social media, please follow us. Scars Bermuda. We'll let you know where that will be on our website. But that is going to be posted on our website. I'm just waiting for the final report that's going to be available to the world, not only Bermuda, but to the world on our website. So that's coming.
Indeed. Debbie, have a wonderful day. We'll be in touch.
Thanks, Jamel. Thank you for having us.
All right. Debi Ray-Rivers, SCARS, doing the work for the community. Yes, that is my email, Suzanne, Jamal@BermudaCommunications.com, not .bm, .com. It's Jamal@BermudaCommunications.com. All righty, folks, take our final break. We'll come back. We'll wrap it up, give you my final thoughts. Stick with us. Don't go anywhere.
Yeah, I don't got this. I'm gonna be fastest delivery around.
Oh, don't pay me enough for that,
Oh, no, sugar! Okay, who's the faster? Who's the fastest? It's me. Talk to me. No more stress. Just sit back.
Children love to play and have fun. And they love gifts even more, especially ones that they can enjoy and learn from. With Bermuda Trivia coloring books, kids can explore the island while they color, learn, and create. The perfect activity for fun and learning together. Available now.
Visit BermudaTrivia.com and follow Bermuda Trivia on your favorite social media platforms to learn more.
For over 70 years, Bermuda Pest Control has been protecting homes and businesses island-wide. We offer a full suite of services, including rodent control, termite fumigation, and general insect control and maintenance. Our team of experts will quickly and efficiently eliminate any pest problem you may have. With Bermuda Pest Control, you can enjoy a pest-free home in no time. We're committed to providing fast, reliable, and solution-driven services for our customers. It's what we've been doing since 1952. Call Bermuda Pest Control today and say goodbye to pests for good.
Dreaming of expanding your business? With BDC's Loan Guarantee Program, we support your ambitions. Get up to 75% guarantee on bank or credit union loans up to $300,000. Just your vision and our support. Apply today and unlock new business opportunities. BDC, Bermuda Business starts here.
Life moves fast, and so can the unexpected. When you insure your home, you need to know that your insurance company has your back. At Friesenbrook, let one of our friendly and professional agents give you that peace of mind. Because when you are covered, you are confident. Call us at 296-3600 or visit friesenbrook.bm to learn more.
Sometimes, all we need is to relax. Take our minds away from it all. A midday break from the busy day. And just a little time to ourselves. Relax, take a break, and unwind with Bermuda Trivia's crossword puzzle book. Available now across Bermuda.
When it comes to the safety and protection of our children, education is prevention, so get SCARS certified. But don't stop there. Intervene if you see someone making a child feel uncomfortable or fearful. Abusers like to exert power and fear over children. Be their voice. Keep communication open. No topic is off limits. But don't stop there. Your response to a disclosure could make or break a child's ability to heal and to thrive. Don't avoid, don't deny, don't minimize, don't blame, and don't shame. Visit scarsbermuda.com to learn more.
All righty. Welcome back to the big show. Thanks again to Debbie and all of our good friends at SCARS for the important work they're doing in our community. Folks, I ask you this sincerely for the sake of our community. You write people back and forth on WhatsApp every day. You're on social media scrolling and posting pictures and different comments on people's statuses. Conversations like this need to be shared. These are things that are helpful. They are beneficial. Whether we think they're not, they are. So please share these conversations. Share what you're learning from these conversations with your friends, your family, your colleagues, even those people you probably don't like. Trust me, this is good information, all right? All right, folks, thanks again to our partners, the BAC Group of Companies, HSBC, Bermuda Medical House, Linda's, People's Pharmacy, and big love to Hot 1075 for ensuring we can pump through the radio airwaves with these most important community conversations. Folks, it is time for the Daily Play brought to you by Bermuda Trivia, now available at stores throughout Bermuda. Follow Bermuda Trivia on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and find out why it's Bermuda's favorite trivia game. All right, are you ready? Are you ready? It's a Bermuda Trivia question today, and I gotta find it for you, right? Here we go. Here's the question. Very easy question because you all know what it is. Audience, who was the first woman physician to practice in Bermuda? Who was the first woman physician to practice in Bermuda? Suzanne Ingham on the ball, pun intended. It was Dr. Barbara Ball. You are correct. And IFIS, you are correct. And you are correct, Manuela John, Dr. Barbara Ball. Yes, 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 yes. You all are in the money. Dr. Barbara Ball it was. Sherilyn Pringle, Dr. Barbara Ball, you are on the money. Yes, 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 yes. Dr. Barbara Ball. Dr. Barbara Bertha Ball was born in Bermuda in 1924. She went on to graduate from Liverpool University Medical School in 1949. Dr. Ball became the first born Bermudian woman to practice medicine in Bermuda and a tireless champion for people's rights. You don't know about Dr. Barbara Ball, you better go check her history, check her story out. She is a true Bermudian treasure. She is a treasure, a hero, an icon. All right, folks, let's wrap it up. As far as a government-supported grocery store, I'm not quite sure that's the way Bermuda should go or can go as far as something that's going to be sustainable. What I would say is I think there's a lot of room for government to work with grocery stores who cooperate with them to make things more feasible for locals. I think that's where I'm at with it. Communicate effectively with those who cooperate and see what can be done. The affordable grocery basket, that's a start. See what else can be done. As far as the conversation with Debbie, I really do hope that many of you will join us on September 21st for the SCARS training. Again, it's, I always say, if you have the time, what bad is more information going to do? Right? It's easy. What else are you going to be doing during that time? Obviously, some of you have to work. Some people have family responsibilities. But if you would just be relaxing or watching football, please just give us 3 hours of your time, just this one time, for the sake of our community and the children you love. All right, let's give you some daily inspiration. This is from my book, The Journey Within. Quote, if you feel like there's no path to follow, find the courage to pave your own way, end quote. Do what you will with that, folks. We got to head out. So thanks again. Do not forget to subscribe on our website, thedailyhour.com. Follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community. Thanks again to our partners, the BAC Group of Companies, HSBC Bermuda Medical House, Lindo's, People's Pharmacy, and big love to Hot 1075 for ensuring that we can pump through the radio airwaves with these most important community conversations. As always, we appreciate you, we love you, and we thank you for making us part of your daily routine. If all goes well, we'll be back to do this again with you tomorrow. I'm Jamal Hartman. Please do make it a safe and a great day. We are Izelle. Peace.